What usually comes to mind when you think of the ocean floor, vibrant coral reefs swaying in the current with brilliant colors, or tiny clownfish darting playfully through crystal clear water filled with sunlight. At first glance, the underwater world feels like a real paradise, peaceful, slow, and harmless. But don't let that beauty fool your eyes. Look closely at that empty stretch of sand, a place that seems like nothing but silence and wasteland. Beneath that fine, smooth layer of sand, it is not nearly as peaceful as you imagine. A dark shadow shoots upward faster than the blink of a human eye. The poor fish vanishes instantly, and the darkness returns to stillness. The sand dust settles slowly, as if no killing had ever taken place. There is no dramatic chase. This predator doesn't need to run. It doesn't even need to swim around searching for prey. It simply waits. It is a living trap patient in a way that chills the spine. Welcome to the lower hell of the seafloor, the realm of a creature with deadly beauty, the speed of a bullet, and the instincts of an ancient killing machine, the Bobbit Worm. Watching through the screen, you might exclaim, "Oh, it's actually quite beautiful." And you wouldn't be wrong. The Bobbit Worm's body reflects light in a shimmering rainbow, like a mystical ribbon or an oil slick spreading across water. But that color isn't for decoration. It's a sophisticated camouflage cloak in the refracted light of the underwater world. Its scientific name is Eunice, aphroditois, but the world in fear calls it the Bobbit Worm. And its true size, but what is what will make you shudder. How long do you think an earthworm is? A hand span, or 20 centimeters? That's the standard on land. The Bobbit Worm breaks every rule we think we know about worms. They can grow up to 3 meters long. Imagine a creature twice the height of a grown adult. And yet that massive body is hidden almost entirely beneath the sand, buried deep in the seabed inside tight tunnels and narrow sand crevices revealing only a tiny fraction at the surface. They are master tunnel engineers carving deadly veins beneath the ocean floor. After burrowing into the sand, their bodies secrete a special mucus that hardens quickly like cement, reinforcing the burrow walls, turning a fragile shelter into a fortified stronghold that won't collapse. And the only thing they reveal to the world is a small portion of the head, less than 5% of the true body, patiently waiting for death to call a prey's name. So, what turns a worm into a monster? Let's dissect the Reaper's toolkit. First, the early warning radar system. The Bobbit Worm has 5 antennae protruding from the sand, gently waving with the flow. In the pitch-black darkness of the deep sea floor, it doesn't need sharp eyes. It sees through touch. It senses the tiniest vibrations in water pressure when something moves nearby. Just one fish accidentally brushing a fin or creating a faint current that grazes those antennae. The signal shoots straight into the nervous system and its fate is essentially sealed. But the real weapon is here, the jaws, dubbed the Guillotine of the seafloor. The Bobbit Worm's jaws aren't built for slow chewing. They operate like a spring-loaded bear trap, or more precisely, a pair of razor-sharp industrial shears. The structure of these jaws is so hard that scientists confirm this is the only part of its body that can fossilize and survive for millions of years. With serrated blade-like edges, when they clamp shut, they don't just hold prey. The crushing force can tear or slice a swimming fish in half instantly. It cuts clean like a hot knife through butter. We usually think of worms as slow, but Bobbit is an exception. It's a sprinter in the world of ambush predators. High-speed measuring devices have produced shocking numbers. When it strikes, it lunges at around 6 meters per second. Can you picture that? The prey disappears so fast that other creatures' brains haven't even finished processing what they just saw. The brutal sequence goes like this. The fish touches the antenna. Boom! The worm explodes upward, the jaws clamp down, and the prey is almost instantly paralyzed, as if the nervous system is locked permanently, all in a fraction of a moment. And then, it drags the prey straight down into its dark sandy burrow. What happens to the fish afterward? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain, it will be eaten slowly in darkness, where sunlight never reaches. There's a rather interesting story behind the name Bobbit. It was coined after the infamous Bobbit family case in the U.S. in 1993, where the wife removed the husband's sensitive part. The rumor goes this worm is called Bobbit because after mating, the female bites off the male's manhood to feed her young sounds, fitting for its brutality, doesn't it? But science says no, that's just an urban myth. In reality, bobbit worms are hermaphrodites. They possess both male and female reproductive organs, so there's no need for any bloody gender war at all. What's truly frightening isn't the name, it's the history of their existence. The species isn't a newcomer. They are ghosts that outlast time. Paleontologists have found fossil traces of their ancestors, dating back as far as 400 million years. Think about that, they were here, hunting in exactly this way. Long before dinosaurs ever walked the land and still standing after impacts wiped out countless other life forms, they are a perfect proof of evolution. But the ocean is not a kingdom for a single ruler. Even a perfect assassin like the bobbit worm must face intelligent enemies and an ecosystem just as ruthless. There is a strange phenomenon divers sometimes witness: mobbing collective harassment. Smart fish like breams, vaupagis, don't simply flee in fear. When they spot the bobbit worm's head protruding, instead of avoiding it, the school unites. They circle around using their mouths to blast strong jets of water into the sand that hides the monster. Why? To blow away the camouflage and expose the predator's position. Once exposed, surprise, the bobbit worm's greatest weapon becomes useless. At that point, the hunter is forced to retreat deeper into its burrow in frustration, surrendering safe territory back to the fish. This is an endless battle of minds between prey and predator. And the bobbit worm doesn't only eat fish. They are opportunistic omnivores. Carrion, small octopus, even other worms. Anything with protein is on the menu. They play the role of the seafloor's brutal cleaners, controlling juvenile fish populations and removing the weak and slow from the ocean's gene pool. Nightfall is when the ocean becomes truly terrifying. Under a diver's flashlight, a sand flat looks like a minefield. Hundreds of bobbit worm heads can rise at once within a small area. That sight reminds us Earth still holds wild worlds running on primal blood-soaked laws, where humans are only passing guests. The bobbit worm is the clearest proof of nature's cruelty and also its fascination. A patient, brutal creature living in darkness, yet wearing a body that shimmers with rainbow light. Next time, if you ever dive and glide past a quiet, empty patch of sand, remember that silence is only a shell. Beneath your feet, millions of years of evolution lie in ambush, waiting for a single misstep. What do you think about this ancient monster? If you were a fish, what would you do to survive? Leave a comment below and tell me. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so we can dive deeper into other chilling mysteries of the ocean. Goodbye and I'll see you in the next video.